the industry of jerseys, kits, whatever you want to call them, uniforms out there, it just continues on, and it's like catnip to American soccer fans out there and soccer fans around the world. And the changes are well documented, and the intrigue and the drama, and trying to get a hold of what teams, whether it's national teams or club teams, are going to look like as a sport in and of itself. So I thought I'd talk a little bit about what the potential is here. So the folks over there at Footy Headlines they have a scoop over there. They have figured out what the 2024 home and away uniforms for the U.S. men's national team are going to be. For those that are watching, you can see them up here in our screen. Okay. I mean, if this ends up being it, I am, there's a time where I like simple and clean, but it also has to pop. And while the white version, I guess the home version it would be, is simple and clean, it just doesn't pop in the way that I want it. There is a classic look to it, but it's not classic enough. And then you have, I guess, maybe a return to the bomb pop era when it comes to the blue one. I guess we'll call it that. The problem with this one is that, yes, it's plain, but it's not very exciting, and the excitement is supposed to be generated by the bomb pop. But the bomb pop is down low, and the potential for it to get obscured just by where it is, or you're tucking in your shirt, all that concerns me. But again, until you actually see it on the field, you don't know if it's going to work. But there is a whole industry out there of people who think that they can do the job better than Nike or Adidas or any of these huge apparel companies out there. And in this day and age of AI and the constant discussion and the concern as to what AI is going to be, what it isn't going to be, how it can be used for good purposes and bad purposes out there, it does give us an opportunity to do some different things. So what ended up happening is people have their own versions and their own designs. And I'll tell you what, there are some incredibly creative people out there. Now, they don't always have, nor should they, all of the information at their disposal. And so while it's easy to say they should do something like this or this is good, the practical ability to do it might be limited. Anyway, U.S. men's national team versus haters. USMNT versus haters used AI to generate this jersey for the U.S. men's national team. And they asked everybody out there, including me, what we thought. I love this. I love this jersey for a couple of different reasons. One, it pops. It is unique. And two, it is uniquely American. And I've talked about this over the last couple of years, and maybe just the times that we live in have made it much more front and center. But I love teams, and in this case, we're talking about the U.S. soccer team, that lean into, for lack of a better word, the Americanness. And can it be looked at as over the top and braggadocious and, dare I say, arrogant? Yeah, but I love that. And that's what I want. It can't be too American for me. And again, maybe it's the era in which we live in where, let's be honest, the flag and red, white, and blue and stars and stripes, at times it's been weaponized and villainized out there. And I want to, I guess, take it back. I want to capture it. And I want to use it for, in this case, what is good. And going forward, we've talked about the denim over the years and how that has resonated. Going forward, I want something that lives up to that denim. I want something that is comparable and maybe a little bit of an homage to what 94 was. And I think that our country, I think the time demands it. And I think that it would be incredibly successful. And when I say successful, not only resonate, but even from a practical perspective, sell a lot. I think America and Americans are thirsty for America in all different types of representations out there. I think that we have become exhausted of fighting our Americanness, if you will. And in the same way that we have talked about the U.S. women's national team winning back supporters, it can be done in a bunch of different ways. And the aesthetic going forward of our U.S. men's national team, obviously leading up to 2026, our U.S. women's national team with all they are doing, even that can help unite. And in a time and in a country where we are so divided, We know sports is often used to unite, and teams can unite. And the way that you look, you want people to grab a hold of it, and you want people to be proud of it. And you want something that screams, you know what? This is not just America, but this is an America that I am proud of, even with all of the problems that we have. Certainly, I'll be the first one to admit we are less than perfect, but it is still a country. And in the sports perspective, these teams go on the field representing our country. All of our differences, all of our disagreements, and yes, all of our flaws out there. And the more that it screams America, I think the better off it is. So if these end up being the jerseys, fine, but I don't think it's leaning into America enough. And I will say this to finish off. If it's not leaning into America because you're scared to do it, then that angers me and that saddens me that that is what has happened to our country, where whether it's an apparel company or anybody else, they're scared to be more America. They're scared to be more red, white, and blue. They're scared to be more stars and stripes.
You like that clip? Well, my State of the Union podcast drops twice a week right here on my very own YouTube page. The only way to stay up to date is to hit that subscribe button down below. Size the day, and see you soon.